3, 2, 1, and we're live. Hello, welcome back to Decentrahype. It's going to be another Bitcoin update today because Bitcoin has absolutely smashed it over the previous resistance of the previous pattern, and I personally did get in a trade for that one. How did it go for you, Chester?
Yeah, pretty good. I got in a few longs across a few different exchanges actually, and I'm still long across a few different ones. But yeah, stop loss is at entry, so it's a non-losing situation, which is all good. I'm just kind of sat here today, just kind of we've been picking apart some new strategies, which has been good, but not really been trading that much. Kind of locked up in some trades. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, I'm pretty good. It's nice to see Bitcoin actually trending up on the micro, quite healthily, I would say. But yeah, how are you doing, brother?
Not bad. Not bad at all. Just chilling here. Should we jump into the short term first on your side, and then I'll do a little short term, and then we could probably just rotate from that point and then do a few altcoins?
All good for me. Yeah, just gonna do some shout outs straight away. We got Here Optimist, we got Leader Crypto, we got Simon B, we've got Hey You as well. Nice to see you on the stream there, guys. Do appreciate it. And also, you know that little like button, that little thumbs up just below our faces. If you give that a little click, that'd be unbelievable. I just did it myself. Yeah, thank you ever so much for doing that, guys. Starting off with BTC on the short-term time frame on the hourly chart here, guys. This is basically what we're looking at right now. Nothing really that amazing in terms of trades right now, because we are already in the long from the breakout on the midterm time frame. But right now, what we're actually looking at here is an upward sloping parallel channel, right? The upward sloping parallel channel is going to be something along the lines of this. This is the support on the lower side that we're working with. As I said, it is the short-term time frame, and it's not. I mean, it is reliable right now, but yeah, we're probably due some sort of retracement coming through at some point. This is the resistance to the top side. We have tested this multiple times, especially recently when we did see this high of this trend on the 4th of October yesterday at around a price of around 20,455. Interesting stuff there. Now, this is a rising parallel channel, guys. Rising parallel channels tend to usually break to the downside. And to be honest, after seeing such a steep uptrend like so, without any real sort of correction, it's around an 8.3% move to the upside at this point in time. I would expect some sort of breakdown. I would expect some sort of correction to validate this pump, whether that is coming down to the 55 EMA before having continuation up, or if history is going to repeat itself, we're just going to absolutely cascade down from here in a matter of seconds, right? As you can see, what happened here, what happened here, what happened here. The whales are playing their games yet again. So if that is going to happen, guys, please be prepared for that, because it'll happen very, 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 very fast, right? In terms of what we're seeing in terms of Fibonacci retracement right now from this move from the swing low to the swing high right now, we did actually come down very briefly and test the 0.236 Fibonacci retracement there for this move. So that is an indication we could actually try and test the swing high again. If that is going to happen, guys, rest assured, we got a volume weighted ATR band sitting there, which is likely to throw us down again. So I'm not expecting like insane bullish momentum right now. I'm probably expecting like a little minor correction or a bit of consolidation, and then we can look for a big move again to the upside. Now, that is that's probably what I'd say, just generally speaking, on the short-term time frame. You got anything to add to that, Hammy?
Yeah, I have a very similar 1 hour chart right now. Slightly different if you zoom out a little bit. If we go over to my chart here, we can see that this is essentially the trade I was eyeing up over the past few days, right? We were in this kind of pattern. It was a little unclear whether this was valid because of this. If we go up to a 4 hour really quickly, we said we wanted this to actually come down and make a high. But then if you actually go down to the hourly and the breakouts begins, right, and we start making these higher highs in the immediate term, that's when we start to actually break out. And that's when I started saying, hey, okay, if we break this high, I'm going in and I'm getting that long going. And we did do that, and that's essentially this. And the measure move obviously being from one side to the other there, just banging that bad boy in. And yeah, one of the reasons why we are expecting this retracement right now for a little bit, I mean, it doesn't have to go much lower than it's been, to be honest. I just think sideways or down to maybe like 19.8, something like that, for me makes a lot more sense. And then yeah, I will get into this in a bit. Do you have anything else to say before I do? Or
the measure move for the upward sloping parallel channel is actually coming down to 19.8, so that does line up perfectly. Okay, and nice. That does mean that we'd be testing a 55 EMA on the hourly in terms of support, and also the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement on the hourly as well. So that does line up pretty nicely. And also, I would say on the 4 hour here that if you do look at this area right here in terms of level of support from before, we've actually seen this Did I just bang that in yet? Yeah, I just banged that in there. Yeah, 19.8, 19.6. This sort of area has actually been a very, very strong area for support there as well. So if we are going to come down and we are going to set a lower high, if you guys miss that long position coming through from here, this would be the higher low test that I would be looking for. That does line up on the 4-hour with the price action channel coming up to say hello as well. And yeah, just talking about the 4-hour just quickly here, because you can see this giant falling wedge that we've got here in the pink, and you can see the support on the lower side here. I'm sure Hammy just brought this up on his chart, and you can see the resistance on the top side here, right? So this is the breakout. This is the measure move. It is worth around 10.76%, so that is pretty goddamn juicy in my opinion. So that is something that I am a part of. That's something that I'm hoping to have continuation up from. I've already hit a couple of take profits there. My stop loss is at entry, which is somewhere down at around 19.9, but I do think that I would like to probably bring that down, just picking apart these charts now, because it's not looking too bad for upwards momentum here. If we're looking at market structure, we did see two lows get put in here, and then from there it has been a higher low confirmed here, and then a higher low near enough, yeah, a higher low confirmed here as well. So in terms of market structure, as long as we're not below 18.9, we are actually in a bullish sort of trend here. So yeah, it's not looking too bad as I would say that. And also, I haven't got the chart up right now, but on my ultra package, we've got the linear regressional trend spotter, and also like the super trend crossed with the OVB or something crazy, like crazy indicators. But they're all insanely bullish right now, right? They're all insanely bullish. So it's giving me more hope that we are going to see some upwards momentum once we've seen this higher low structure actually get created here.
Dimitru, I see you in the chat. What is good? Hey, you as well. Eating dinner, but watching as well. That's always a good thing. That's actually like a huge motivational thing, like a mindset thing as well, right? If you're eating dinner, it's okay to watch TV, but make sure it's something educational, right? Always improve yourself. Yeah. Have you got anything else to add to that, or are we good?
I can talk about other things. We've got the RSI coming through here on the 4-hour, guys. You can see we are gradually creating either a wedge or a parallel channel. I can't really decide just yet, but this basically means we're at the top side of this area. So if we are going to come down, or we are going to consolidate here in terms of the live price, that will naturally bring the RSI down to this central point, even if we start consolidating, because it basically means there's not that much buying strength, there's not that much selling strength. It will basically return to this central point. If that does happen, and we do see a little bit of a sell-off, we can expect some sort of bounce along this level of support here. These are the sorts of areas I do want to be looking out for here for the future, for the next move of Bitcoin. I would ideally like to come down a bit, because if we do come up any more than here, then we are going to see some pretty heavy resistance. And as I was speaking about previously there, for what's happened around these areas in terms of these prices most recently in the last few weeks here for Bitcoin, we've just been absolutely slammed down in terms of being trapped out. So I ideally don't want to see that again, guys, because the moves are not small. They're absolutely huge. Yes, I've already banked my profit coming through, so I'm not really that worried there, but I more don't want uneducated traders to really get liquidated and stuff like that, right? Because these moves, as I was showing there, like 10% move to the downside in literally the space of 12 hours, just absolutely filthy. So in response to that, I would say just don't be too bullish right now, but just be aware that we could slam it down out of nowhere, because this market is not a stable market. It's pretty filthy. I'd say our volume is actually coming down quite nicely as well, trending down. We're not seeing that much coming through, and that's why I'm actually favoring this sort of uptrend right now, just because you can see on the shorter term time frame we are literally just trickling up quite nicely. It's I'd say it's quite nice compared to a lot of the other trends that we have seen that have been very violent and volatile. Like as you can see, it's just really violent, really volatile, and just you can see the corrections there are just horrific. So nice to see a nice gradual uptrend and nice structure being formed, basically. Yeah, that's probably what I would say about that. In terms of divergence and stuff like that, there's not really that much going on that I would like to talk about. I mean, the hourly, we've got the downtrend coming through, which is absolutely natural. I would be interested to see where the MACD is going to be in 36 minutes time, to see whether this trend is going to be fizzling out, or we are going to see a bit of upwards momentum. Because I'm right in saying in the last like half hour we did see maybe not the half hour, but like the last hour and a half, we did see a bit of upwards momentum bouncing off this level of support. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether we are going to see the breakdown here, or we're going to have the continuation to the upside here. Ideally, I probably would like some continuation there up to around this volume weighted ATR band, and then I can really sort of adjust my position and just have a bit of a broader thought there. But I am tempted to like hedge this and go short for this little scalp here. I think that'd be quite nice because the pullback is genuinely needed there. If you guys have any sort of altcoins that you want us to do some TA on, make sure you get them in the chat. We will get to them as soon as physically possible once we've done a bit of Bitcoin. Do you want to go into the longer term time frame there, Hammy?
I can indeed. Again, all the likes are appreciated, all that good stuff. There's links to exchanges and stuff in the description as well if you do want to check out Bitget and copy trading. As well as that, I do just want to talk about this pattern as well, because I believe we have something slightly different drawing here. I believe you have a bit more of a rising channel, which is, again, both correct here. It's fine.
Yeah.
But there is a trade here I'm looking for on the 4-hour that does look quite promising. I've talked about this before, but yeah, previously when I talked about this, we were kind of in the middle of the range, just chilling around here. So now we're on the top side of that. What I want to see here is basically a break of this high. So 20,400, 20,500 if you're going to be a bit more cautious with it, with this kind of wick up here. And obviously this confluence point here is resistance as well, right? And if we can get that, and again, I want to see this pullback first, really. I want to see a 19.8 generally, as we've been discussing, before we go up here. But if we do go up there anyway, then maybe I will be taking some smaller trades, a bit more lower risk, but just playing this up, making the money I can if it does want to continue this trend all the way up. And the gap here that you can see, generally, I'm just going to double check I've got this right. So I've got the 4-hour. We're just going to move this 12-hour down to a 1-hour now, just to keep things fresh and just show you guys, right? So if we're looking at these volume weighted ATR bands right here, we don't need these moving averages right now, so let's just get rid of those. Yeah, these volume-weighted ATR bands, you've got this 60-minute volume-weighted ATR band. We are just below there. Definitely an area we've rejected from before, so yeah, a pullback here would make sense. Also, if they want to trap to the downside right now, a pullback, people would start to believe that we are heading down after that anyway, and then if they bounce off these kind of areas anyway, 19.7, 19.8, then we can look for that break of the high, break of the volume-weighted ATR band on the 1-hour, and then potentially a ride all the way up to the 4-hour volume weighted ATR band up here, which does complete another measure move coming through as well. So again, we're just playing the trend, we're playing the measure moves, and as well as that, being cautious with it as well, because a pullback here is going to make the trade better and healthier towards the upside if we get that pullback first. But if we don't, we still want to be able to capitalize on that and make some money along the way. So let's just take a look at a potential entry there. Again, 20,600, 20,500, that kind of zone, getting back into this kind of like this range up here. And if we do kind of crash into the abyss as well from this point, I mean, it's a long way down. It's a long way down from here. If we do that, then what we'll be looking for is basically a break of 18.85. Wait, is that right? No, 18.5, 18.5, sorry, brain. And then, yeah, looking to essentially break down from that point, taking some trades, ideally to begin with from 18.5 down to 18.1. And then from that point, if we can kind of get some momentum towards the downside from this point, it would basically be from 18K all the way down to 17. And that's just the 4-hour. If we go up to the daily, it's not amazingly similar of a scenario, but we do have another potential breakout here towards the upside on the daily, which I believe we have just kind of scraped and covered as well. But yeah, let's just reiterate that a little bit. So 21.5, this kind of area, again, that 4-hour volume weighted ATR band is what we're looking at on these time frames. So yes, if we do head up, a bit of a pullback off of this, and then if we break over that, similar to like we do with the hour, then yeah, there's a potential massive trade here to continue the trend. So again, as we said previously in our videos from both of our channels and our live streams, there is a lot of money to be made in Bitcoin over the next few months, because a lot of these big patterns are coming to a resolutional point where they are going to break out and have huge measure moves. So we've got 6% there. We just talked about 6% up to that point, right? And then there's moves towards the downside if we do want to crash as well. So the time isn't, hey, everyone buy, everyone get in, but instead the time is a bit more like, hey, everyone get ready to react and play the measure moves as they come. I do just want to touch on hash ribbons as well. Yeah, okay, so hash ribbons still expanding, still looking good. I am going to be putting out a few more on-chain videos on my channel because I found some really good sources, Glassnode, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm keen to share that with you guys, but I won't go too much in depth with it at the moment. But there's arguments to both sides saying, hey, the mining industry is still expanding. There's lots of hash rate and stuff like that, but the profit isn't going up and the price isn't going up as much. So we could be heading for a huge capitulation event, or the price catches up and we enter a pretty much a bull run up to like 50k potentially here.
Very
So
aggressive,
yeah,
yeah.
that would be huge and that would be very, very profitable. So yeah, looking forward to that either way. But again, just heading to that kind of conclusional point on a lot of the market right now, whether we do continue down or whether we do have a bit of a relief rally up into the 30s, 40s, and 50s, ideally here. Yeah, do we have any altcoins or anything?
I'd just like to touch on the longer term time frame for Bitcoin quickly, and then I would do. Then I've got a bit of mana lined up, Decentraland, and then I see Simon wanted a bit of Gala, so I've done done a little prep on Gala for Simon there, and then I think we got Peter K, and here Optimus would like Solana. So if you want to do some Solana, that would be good. But yeah, in the meantime, I'll just touch on the longer term time frame and then just go straight into a couple of altcoins for you guys. And I see in the chat that you're all thinking about starting copy trading. Good choice. Loads of money to be made there. You can see us we are pushing it quite a bit at the moment actually, because we're literally both making money there. So yeah, it's something that we do want you guys to basically get involved with, because it's literally free money. It's pretty good. One of the only exchanges that does it as well at the moment, which is unheard of, because it's going to be a huge thing. So basically going to get in early, and that's another reason why we've been developing new strategies today, because we want to basically develop new copy trading strategies and then do videos for you guys on basically completely explaining the strategies and how they work. And then if you guys don't want to trade the strategies yourself, you can literally go onto Bitget and just go copy, and you can copy our trades exactly from that strategy, and you can follow it perfectly. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing today. So you can look forward to that for the future. But yeah, talking about Bitcoin here on the daily here, because it is quite choppy on my chart. It's probably quite different to Hammy. I know. I'm sorry if you guys can't read this right now. Let me get rid of a few moving averages and stuff.
Pick up sticks or something.
Yeah, literally. I think you guys are probably the same. Like, if you do your own chart, and you can visualize it perfectly and what's going on and stuff like that. But when you show it to someone else, they're like, what are you looking at, man? So yeah, let me go into a bit more detail for you guys. You can see we've got a falling parallel channel coming down like so. The measure move to the upside from a falling parallel channel is worth around 20.1% to the upside there. In terms of the price prediction for that, if we can get above 20,600, I'm going to be looking to basically probably either add to my long that we've got on the shorter term time frame now, or getting another long, right? Getting another long. We've got pivot points at around 21,600, another pivot point at around 22,283. That's going to be the move to the downside. As you can see here, there is a massive horizontal level of support coming through around this area. So if we do dump down, we will still be playing in this range that I've got drawn in here. And as you can see, that's a range from 20,347 all the way down to around 18,500. I'm sure you guys are pretty bored of those prices, because we've been sat in there for a considerable amount of time, right? Pretty bored of that stuff there. But yeah, that's sort of my chart explained. We can also see a massive upward sloping trend line coming through that we've tapped, and we've basically been holding support on continuously. And the next potential touch for that, if we do dump down violently, is going to be around 19,000, guys. So it's definitely a point to be looking out for. You can see VPVR is going to be volume profile visible range is going to be literally pretty much sat where we're at, right? Which is a good sign for not losing 20k, because you can see the most prominent point right now is going to be around 20k. Let's see if we can bring the point of control up, actually. Is that going to be on here? Have I got the right indicator? Yeah, point of control. Here we go. Yeah, the point of control coming through for the daily at around 20k. Very interesting stuff as well there, guys. If we do lose 20k, I would expect lower prices. Probably the 21 EMA on the daily to even get tapped, and that's around 19.6. That does kind of line up with what we were talking about before. But yeah, overall, we're coming up to test this potential 55 EMA around 20,500. So yeah, it's quite a lot of resistance to be looking out for there, guys. And rest assured, I am taking profit as we go up here, and my stop loss is at entry, so it's all good there. But yeah, it's pretty much Bitcoin here on the longer term time frame covered. I know Hammy went into the more on chain stuff there, but I'm going to be going into a couple of altcoins now. So let's get through to my altcoin chart. Look at Mana. This is something that I'm looking at today. It is a falling wedge, guys. Falling wedges, they tend to usually break to the upside. This is the measure move that we're looking for here. And you can see it's going to be worth around 3.86%. I haven't quite got in yet, just because it's a bit too good to be true right now with this momentum. As you can see, we've come up literally around 6.37%. And as I was talking about earlier there on Bitcoin, I do expect some sort of pullback to be coming through. So I would expect a pullback, and I'll be looking to actually enter this on the retest coming through from here. And that does bring me onto the RSI here for Mana. And as you can see, we are gradually climbing pretty steeply to that overbought scenario where we do have a pullback from there. We are above all major moving averages, and as you can see, there is quite a nice healthy gap between the 200 SMA and the 55 EMA there. This area is very, very nice for playtime, and hopefully we can see a nice bounce in terms of price there. So yeah, that's sort of what I would be looking for there for Mana. Let me jump to Gala there for Simon. Because it is the same sort of story there, but we do have a bit more stuff going on. I did see Simon in the comments basically saying Gala is releasing their first game, I think. Their first game release is at the end of October. Interesting stuff. Maybe that's something I need to research on as well, because I know Gala itself has been getting quite a lot of traction recently in terms of marketing and stuff like that. A lot of the crypto groups that I'm part of, they've been talking about Gala, right? It just keeps popping up everywhere. So yeah, definitely something I am going to be looking into. Now, in terms of the chart right now, in terms of TA, look at the support that we've got on the lower side here that has actually been tested multiple times here in this filthy, disgusting, dirty bear market that we are being a part of. What is happening to my chart right now? Filthy, disgusting bear market that we're being a part of right now. So it's a falling parallel channel, guys. These tend to usually break to the upside. What are we seeing right now? We're actually seeing the minxed of a potential breakout. Is that the right word? A minxed? Minxed of this potential breakout scenario here. This is the measure move like so, guys. You can see this climbing up. As I said again with Mana, I want to see a retest here. I want to see a nice retest, because after seeing literally all these bullish candles in a row, and I'm referencing Bitcoin again, how Bitcoin just got slammed down every single time that we got to these levels. It's a bit too risky right now just to be banging it along, right? Especially now we're already halfway through the measure move. So if I am going to be looking to long Gala, if we are going to see a nice scenario come through, I'm going to be working with this double bottom scenario here once we clear this level of resistance, right? This level of resistance is going to be very crucial, because it's basically going to be me in a double bottom scenario, and it's going to be this measure move basically coming in again, right? And that measure move is going to be worth a significant amount, all the way up to the 200 EMA, around 7, near enough 8% there, if we are going to bring that all the way to the top. Yeah, 7.5%. So yeah, interesting stuff coming through for Gala. Definitely a few things to be looking out for there. Right now, in terms of the price, I would expect a pullback, right? That's what I would say about pretty much everything at the moment that's pumping. But yeah, what are you saying, Hammy? Are you ready to do Solana?
Can do, can do. Yeah, it seems a lot of the market, as we'll see with this, with Solana, a lot of the market right now is actually very, very much in sync. There isn't a lot of difference between a lot of these coins right now. It's most of the coins have followed the mothership Bitcoin with a big pumperino, and now it's whether we continue or whether we kind of pull back is going to be the deciding factor for a lot of these coins. Some of these coins on this pullback will literally just bang it down. Other coins will maybe a little bit more resilient, bounce along the moving averages, and kind of catch up in that sense with the rest of the market. But let's just jump in to Solana right now, starting off with the hourly. Again, just echoing Bitcoin right now with this thing, right? Coming up, hitting resistance, and then just going sideways and consolidating, right? So with that, I'm not really going to draw this pattern in here because it's kind of already broken anyway. The structure is already broke. There's not too much need to do that. But if we zoom out right now and we look at the 4 hour as well, let's see what we can find. So again, that kind of that slinky, I like to call this one, right? The slinky coming through and kind of losing that momentum off this bounce anyway. Does that mean we continue down? Absolutely not. I mean, it could, but it's not, nothing's written in stone right now. We are just waiting to see what Bitcoin does. If I'm going to draw something here, we've got a pretty nice looking little channel here, right? We have hit this bad boy a few times, and yeah, I'm going to be a little bit more precise with this bad boy, just so we are all on the same page. Good stuff. The issue with altcoins as well, right? Maybe the trend line is meant to be here, right? But altcoins can, because they have less liquidity, they can obviously close candles a bit higher than you're expected to, compared to like Bitcoin or anything like that, right? So interesting stuff here. And if we are just going to sort this one out as well, on the bottom side, we can see that, yeah, it's a little bit too broadening for me, but it's not like the end of the world. You can still draw a measure move off of this, depending, again, just kind of giving it that leeway based on the traps and where the candles have opened and closed, right? So if we are going to look at this for potential measure move, let's take a look and talk about this Solana coming through. If we break over this this volume weighted ATR band, currently at 35.55 for Solana here, then I'll be looking basically to get over and get to 37. So let's put a percentage move on that bad boy. We can see about 4.5%. Very, very nice. We love to see it. That right there is money. That's what we like to see. So yeah, if we do continue up and we do have a bit of consolidation here and then blast through, you could take a trade on the way up there. I mean, it's still 2%, but it's very risky with there being so many traps and wicks in this area, right? Definitely somewhat of a trap zone coming through. Bit more of an advanced trade if you do want to take that one. But what I'm looking at right now is the 60-minute, so the 1 hour volume weighted ATR band to break over that, and then we are good to go for a nice juicy trade, as Chester likes to say. So if we are gonna be if we're gonna be basically eyeing that up towards the downside as well here, we can say not really going to be having a trade for a long time. And the reason for that is if we do come down, we're very likely to bounce and consolidate and just wick around this area here where all these moving averages are between kind of like $33 and $33.5, right? So if we do get down into that area, that's going to be a no trade zone for me. That's going to be something where I'm not touching this, right? If we do actually break below that point, there's an argument, a strong argument, you could take a trade inside this area, in which we might need to go down to the hourly to see what kind of patterns emerge. For example, some kind of channel or something, and then we drop off the channel, and then there's a measure move, you could take the measure move, right? But yeah, in terms of right now on the 4 hour, just widening scope a little bit, right? We can see that there is a potential there for a trade, but I would prefer just waiting for this, because honestly, if we get down into this area, it could be wiki, it could be a trap. I prefer to just come down here and then use that momentum, basically see the dump, retest, break the low, get below the 1 hour volume weighted ATR band, and then bang it down to like 29 bucks from that point. So yeah, interesting stuff coming through there. If we're going to put a percentage on that as well, we're going to say, hey, yeah, 4 or 5%, that's fine. I'm happy being patient for 4 or 5% here. That's absolutely fine. And yeah, apart from that, we are pretty much still just going sideways, chopping around for Solana. I can take a little glimpse at the daily right now, so we can see how it looks. It looks okay. Again, for any bullish momentum, I really want to see us, for the long-term macro anyway, to get above 40 bucks. If we get back above 40 bucks, it's going to be a lot better. And then even better than that, it gets a little bit more bullish if we get above 47 bucks based on this high anyway, right? If we lose pretty much at the end of this measure move, right? At the end of this measure move we just talked about here, if we basically go any lower than that, it's bad. Okay, it's really bad, and we could literally free fall down to even as low as 20, which sounds barbaric, but if Bitcoin's dumping, everything else is slumping as well. So that is going to be it for Solana. Do we have another one here? I think we had, or did you want to do one?
Yeah, I'm ready for BNB. Pretty
Alrighty.
much ready, steady, go for BNB. I'm going to be starting off with BNB on more of the macro, guys, just because as Hammy was just saying, a lot of the charts are pretty much the same, pretty boring stuff in terms of the same price action across the board here. So I'm going to be starting off with BNB on the longer term time frame here on the macro. Straight away, you can see from all-time high figures coming through at around 670, that sort of area for BNB. We did actually see a falling wedge scenario actually get created through this whole bear market that we are currently in, right? Now, this is the measure move for that actually was before we actually seen this. So that's wrong. Let me get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. And let's start again. This is going to be the measure move up from that, guys. We actually haven't seen measure move completion just yet from the breakout. You can see this is up around 27.83%. Very interesting point. That's not really what I want to talk about that much. It's more the price action, kind of the chart pattern that we are seeing now. Because yes, the measure move isn't completed, but there's more to know here. There's more to know, and the reason why I'm saying this, guys, is because we are seeing this low actually get created here. The lowest point for BNB in this bear market is $183. And from there, you can see the level of support. I've got a spider crawling up my leg. A level of support coming through to the upside here continuously, right? This is what we are continuously testing, this upward sloping support line. Now, from there, we're currently testing pretty strong lower highs here, guys. We're testing pretty strong lower highs. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see it a bit better. And we're basically testing these very strong lower highs here. If we can break this and get above the 200 EMA and SMA here, I would really expect a test of the top side here. The top side of this ascending triangle. It's an ascending triangle, guys. It does what it says on the tin. It ascends. It ascends the price to the goddamn moon. So if this is going to happen, I would be looking for some sort of BNB long up to around this sort of area. Obviously, we don't know the measure move as of yet. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a greedy measure move for now, just to give us some sort of price prediction of where we could actually be. This is the most recent top to bottom inside the chart pattern. It will obviously be a lot smaller when we do get to the top side, guys, so just prepare for that. Don't get too excited. But the move here is going to be worth, in terms of percentages, can you line up? Yeah, in terms of percentages, it is going to be worth around around 35% at this time. You're probably more looking at around 16, 17% when we do get this new measure move come through. But for now, that's the sort of price I would be looking for, around $444 there. If that does come through, that is breaking major levels there, which is going to be very, very positive for BNB. That's sort of the trade that I would be looking for. Now, on the basis that we do get rejected pretty horribly off the 200 EMA and SMA there, I would be probably looking for a potential breakdown. If this is going to happen and Bitcoin is going to go to the toilet again, then we are going to see, keep using that right, we are going to see probably a move down to around 206 again. The measure move here is worth around 25%, and hey, it's a bear market. Who am I to turn down a short position, right? I just need to be taking profit at all of these potential higher low points here as they are levels of support, and we could be using them to our advantage, right? So yeah, around 24.88% on the table to be taken if that is going to happen. We are going to look at the MACD quickly. Can I double click that? Is that going to work? Nope. Usually if you double click it, it fills the screen, right? Yeah. You look at the MACD quickly, guys. We are seeing a pretty strong uptrend here. In terms of trend cycles, we could be looking at something along the lines of this. What do you know? We're pretty much smack bang on a level of resistance, guys. So this is an indication that we are going to have trend reversal at this point. So please be aware for that. And maybe we get a wick up to around the 200 EMA and SMA there at around $309 and then basically get slammed down from there. I really wouldn't be surprised. So that's probably BNB on the macro covered for you guys there. What are you saying your side?
Not much. I actually like BNB. I always have. BNB for me is one of the few projects that obviously they have massive backing, Binance, right? So they're the few projects where I believe if you're running a grid strategy or something like that, you're very unlikely to lose over a long period of time, in my opinion, right? Some of these exchanges won't be around for a while, right? But Binance I can see sticking around, just going for that kind of the government approval, all of that stuff, right? Whether people like that or not, and whether people leave the platform or not, they are going to be one of the first access points for the mainstream before they realize, hey, I'd rather do it privately on another exchange, right? So yeah, they're still going to always have people flowing through, and that will go through to BNB. Obviously, they use BNB for fees. It's also got its own chain in terms of like a Ethereum aspect where you can build projects on it. You can have NFTs on it, stuff like that, right? So yeah, it's a fantastic project. I think it will be around for a while, and yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
I see Sanantu in the chat basically saying, I'm in Bitcoin short. Should I be exiting it or holding it? Right now, I mean, forever, we can't give you financial advice, but right now, what I would say about Bitcoin here, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your position, but what I would say about Bitcoin is more on the midterm time frame here on the 4 hour. We've actually seen a very, very strong bullish breakout here, and the move is literally up to around 21.5% there. So if you are in a Bitcoin short here, make sure you do have a very, very wide stop loss, because that is pretty likely to see continuation. If it is more of a scalp here on the shorter term time frames, what I'm looking for personally is going to be some sort of correction here in terms of that 8% move that we have seen, and that's going to be a move to the downside from this parallel channel here, because parallel channels tend to usually break down, and that would be a move to the Fibonacci retracement to 0.382. Now, that is going to be currently worth around 1.54%, so that's definitely something that I would be taking into consideration there. Do I think we're going to absolutely slam it down to the abyss? I think it's pretty unlikely, seeing the strength of that trend and how nice that's trickled up, but just be aware of these areas before. You can see the most recent times we have had nice little pumps to the upside. Bitcoin has just absolutely slammed it down horrifically, right? So yeah, be aware for those as well. But yeah, what I would say is just prepare for, well, I'm currently long on Bitcoin, but just be prepared for pullbacks for market structure.
Yeah, I think that kind of question, we obviously used to stream every day throughout the bull market, and we got lots of those questions, right? And for me, what that is a sign of, without any offense or anything like that, right? This is a sign where you need to essentially reflect on yourself and say, okay, why am I stressed about this position that I'm underwater with? Maybe, and this is usually the case, right? You risked too much. Your liquidation maybe might be like 21 over 21 or something, right? So yeah, it could be a scenario where you've risked too much in the situation. You've used too much leverage. You don't have, this is like the technical side of it, right? You don't have the margin to support your position going wrong, right? What a lot of professional traders do, they will, let's say, for example, you have 100K, right? They'll trade only with like, I don't know, 5% of that. And that way, if they do go underwater, they can always use the rest of their margin to essentially come back and build that balance back, like I've done all the way down here, right? So what I've done with Bitcoin is I've been DCAing since like 60K, right? Sounds barbaric. Sounds barbaric, but what I've been doing along the way is taking trades with the rest of my balance, right? So DCAing with a few percent of my balance, right? DCAing again, going more and more underwater, but running grid strategies and taking trades off of measure moves all the way down has essentially put my average entry, and I'm way above break even now. I'm massively in profit just based on the trades I've taken in these areas. And the point of this is to not risk too much and always have a plan in case things go wrong, right? If you are trading with 100K and you put a grand in and you're underwater, then you can always use the rest of that balance. Just in conclusion, right, you can use the rest of that balance to get your money back if you're a profitable trader. If you're not a profitable trader and you're risking too much, that can be something that's very detrimental and you could go broke very, very quickly. So what I'll say with this is, to answer your question anyway, if I'm in that position, I would definitely be looking in the mirror, self-reflection. Why am I in this situation now? Do I deserve this stress? No. Okay, so next time maybe we'll reevaluate how much we need to put into the trade, the risk reward side of it, stuff like that, right? And we've all done it, right? I went broke 5 times learning to trade, like literally from good money down to zero, good money down to zero, like 5 times, completely broke. How am I going to pay my rent? All of that good stuff, right? But now I'm in a situation where I do think of this in a very rational sense. I don't get emotional about trades. And the secret sauce to not being emotional about trades is risking very, very little and building your balance up over time, and then it just compounds together, and then you're home free, right? You're scot free. Is it scot free or home free? I don't know.
Maybe both.
Maybe both, depending on the sport.
Yeah, maybe both. And if you guys got any more altcoins, make sure you put them in the chat. I think just overall, the markets, I would just like to see it return to a bull market.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it does help the views. It helps a lot of like the morality in the space. It really, really helps everything. A nice bull run. So that'd be really, really nice to see. But at this point in time, it's just horrific. And in terms of, do I think that we're going to challenge the most recent low of the bull run here for Bitcoin? I do. Honestly, I do. I do think we're not out of the woods yet, guys. I do think 17.6 is not the bottom. I really don't. I do think we're probably going to see 14K here. And this is not just because of Bitcoin. I know we've got hash ribbons and all this really good long signals and stuff like that, giving us potential for a nice, really nice bull run here. But what I would say is the world is not responding well to what happened a few years ago, right? The world is still not responding well to that, and it's only going to get worse. So that is definitely going to have an effect on all of the markets, and obviously we've got a lot of other problems around the world as well. I'm sure you guys all know about. I'm not going to go into detail on those because it'll affect the stream, but that's literally one thing that goes wrong, one bad news story, and the world markets are just in the toilet again. So I would expect that the Bitcoin has not seen the worst of this bear market as of yet. What would you say, bro?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think we could come down quite low very, very easily. As I said before, the on-chain right now is a very crucial point where miners are still expanding. The network's still expanding. They're still super competitive to kind of outmine each other and get as many Bitcoins as possible, right? But at the same time, the price of Bitcoin is still dropping. So what that's going to do is going to create some kind of resolution point where a lot of the miners will go into so much debt that they have to just be like, okay, I've run out of money. I've got to sell my miners, and you'll see like a huge drop in hash rate. This is one side, the bearish side, right? And then we'll have the capitulation event where these miners start selling off their Bitcoin to pay for more mining, all of that stuff, right? And that could easily send us down to the low 15s and below, right? But on the flip side, if Bitcoin does want to catch up the miners in terms of price, right, in terms of where it should be in conjunction with the hash rate, if I'm going to bring that up right now, right, hash rate is bullish right now. It is bullish. That's a fact. But if these miners, and price isn't really reflecting this stat, to be honest. So what we need is either price to come up 26K plus, I would say, and then it's looking quite good and organic. Or if price continues to be suppressed and we continue to go down, that's when we could potentially see a bit of a death spiral in Bitcoin. Not obviously to the ground, but at least down to 13K, maybe even wicking as low as 10K if that is the case. If all these miners kind of hold out for long enough and then they default on all their debt and then they have to sell all their Bitcoin, all that stuff, right? So yeah, lots of stuff on the horizon here. Going to be very, very exciting to trade. I did see that her Optimus wanted a DAG.
I've got it ready.
You got it ready? Okay. This is what I've got on DAG for the 4-hour. Personally, not a fan of this coin. I don't think it trades very well. Look at this. Dirty, disgusting. Get away from me. So I'm going to give it to you. Enjoy.
Yeah. I actually am a fan of this coin in terms of its sort of use case, right? This is I think this is going to be one of the coins to watch for the next bull run because it's actually backed by a lot of governments because they use it for I've completely forgotten the use case for it, but I think they use it for like blockchain and stuff like that, and they're using it. I think it's for security, cybersecurity, or something along the lines of that, right? It's definitely worth researching. I think Hammy might be going to do that now, but it's definitely worth researching, guys, because
I'm just replying in the chat.
okay, definitely worth researching because if this is the case, then obviously we know blockchain and all that stuff's going to really revolutionize the world. If the governments are going to be backing one coin, we want to really get involved with that. So yeah, that's what I would say about DAG in terms of the price right now. And as Hammy said, how it's trading is pretty awful. We do have this very, very, very strong downward sloping parallel channel here. You can see the support on the lower side that we have tested absolutely multiple times here. The last time we tested that was setting that initial low back in the 15th of June across the board for crypto. And from there, we haven't really seen that much upwards momentum. We did see a big spike and then sort of the Bart Simpson scenario coming through there. And then obviously the dirty, filthy sell-off. From there, it's not really been that great, okay? It's not really been that great. We have seen a bit of a spike recently over the last like 2 days, but not seen that much continuation. What I do want to see here is breaking the 200 EMA. You can see the price action on this moving average here is absolutely filthy. So if you do want to see initially solid bullish momentum and solid continuation to the upside here, then I would expect. I would like to find support on that. That's just for starters. But on top of that, guys, you can see where we are in terms of the resistance for this trend line here coming all the way down. So in response to what you were saying there here, Optimist, this is a horrific position to be in, what I would say, because you don't know whether you're going to come up and break this as a level of resistance. Or
he said he's running a grid bot though.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
He did just say it, to be fair.
Okay, that's all right then. It's not too bad. But yeah, I would say this is not a great position for like a spot trader or something like that, right? Because you're sat there waiting to see whether you're going to get rejected on. And yeah, it's just pretty uncertain times. And in terms of base camp 1 and all that, Mount Everest climbing and all that stuff, we haven't really seen that much consolidation in this area. So I would expect just trickling down now and hitting levels of support in terms of moving averages here. You can see on the 4-hour, it's really not that nice here. Really not that nice. So yeah, pretty much what I would say about DAG. If we don't break this, I would expect downwards momentum and then probably testing this low on the 4-hour, and that's going to be around 6 cents there. If we jump back to the daily, if you break that low, I mean, the floor's the limit, right? It'd be horrific if you do really start to dump down. I mean, 2 cents is on the cards. You can see the last time that we did actually bounce off this 2 cents area, we did see a nice bit of upwards momentum, but that is that's bull run territory. So yeah, I'd pretty much stay away from this right now until we see that congruent breakout above major moving averages and also those downward sloping parallel channels. Let me just do a measure move here. Sorry to waffle on about DAG too much, guys. If you've got any more requests while we're doing this, while I'm doing this, make sure they're in the chat. And guys, we stream Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday for Thursday night trade-off. So make sure you tune in for that and get those notifications on. Otherwise, you will miss us live because YouTube are not the best at notifying you, I must say. Around 81% to the upside if DAG is going to make that move up for that measure move. But yeah, that's what I would say about DAG.
Cool. I will add to that just based on how I would run a grid in this right now. It depends how you're running it, right? So if you're running your grid, ideally not a leveraged grid on a spot grid, right? And you're running it in this kind of range, fantastic stuff, okay? Because there's a few things, right? If you're running it in that kind of range from basically 6 cents 8 to 8 cents 2, then you've got a lot of volatility here to go with. Even if we kind of come down, we make this low, and then we start bouncing back up, right? You've got a good chance there that we continue continue going sideways for a significant amount of time, right? If we are going to say as well, running a grid in this area and then you go underwater in that grid, it becomes a DCA. You've then also got these kind of lows coming through as well that you can bounce off of, right? The problem with running a grid on an asset like this, though, just generally, is it does just go down. It just goes down. So what we can say with this, I mean, obviously it didn't before, but what we can say with this is one of the heavier hit assets coming through. If you do have faith in this coin and you're just one of these people that like to run grids on the bottom, and you've got good merit behind why it's the bottom, then that's fine, right? That's what a lot of the whales do. You accumulate, you wait for the uptrend, you sell, right? With grids, I assume again you're in a bit more of a long unleveraged grid. Yeah, so I would say, hey, getting out at the top of a grid is better than obviously the bottom, because if you get out of the bottom, for example, you've filled all these orders and you're waiting to sell, right? And if you do come up, yeah, you hit all the sell orders, and then you've just got buy orders left, right? But the issue with something like this that is trending down so much is the next dump could literally bring you below your range and continue the descent, right? So what you would want to do is sell generally at the top. What I do with a lot of my grids, I don't really publicly say this too much, but with a lot of my grids, I will wait till we get to the top of the range, the absolute top, and then if I see a potential rejection coming, I'll essentially wait for that. And if it doesn't happen, I don't lose any money, right? Because I'm out of the range anyway, right? If it does happen, then I can basically evaluate and monitor this bottom area if it does come down for that kind of higher low to come in, and then start the grid again, in which I'll just be selling into that wave up as well. I think Alexa's going to go off.
Oh, right, the press of alarm, right?
Yeah. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. In terms of getting out, it's absolutely a fine time to get out if you're running a grid, assuming your range ends around here, right? If your range ends up here, then it might be worth just waiting a little bit to see if we do want to come up a little bit more and initiate that measure move that Chess is talking about, right? If we do initiate that measure move, it's just more sell orders filled. I'm just getting used to this new mic arm, just keep hitting it.
Yeah,
very like wavy with my hands. I just smashed this arm. But yeah, that's all I have to say about DAG. Doesn't look fantastic long term, but if it does want to come up with the rest of the market, then this is definitely a trend line to watch, and we are kind of resting at that trend line right now. So yeah, that's cool. Anything else coming through?
I'm going to be jumping into Ethereum now, guys. I'm going to be starting off with Ethereum on the macro, because I think there's some quite interesting points to really be looking out for here. As you can see, starting off straight away, obviously we had the filthy, disgusting merge that came through on the 15th of September. From there, we obviously had a lot of people absolutely sell off Ethereum like crazy. We did see the price really dip from around 1,600 all the way down to around 1,200 for Ethereum, which is pretty goddamn cheap in my opinion. That has basically formed falling wedges galore out of out of everything right now, which is interesting because they actually break to the upside, guys. Falling wedges tend to usually break to the upside, so that's definitely something we can be looking out for the future. Another thing I do want to say about the whole proof of stake scenario that they've gone for, they've actually locked up a lot of Ethereum now. So when that actually gets released with the profits for those people that have actually a stake their Ethereum, the stakers, they're actually going to, it will be a big sell-off, right? There will be a big sell-off for Ethereum at that point, and that is going to be, I can't remember, I don't think the date's been released, but I think it's like in 6 months' time, so that's definitely something we can be looking out for there. But in terms of trading Ethereum right now, as I said, falling wedge galore. If we do see a nice pump for Bitcoin, I probably would expect Ethereum to be coming up. What did I say? Bitcoin or something? Bitcoin. On the short-term time frame, on the 4-hour here, guys, definitely something that I'm actually looking for here, because you can see we do have a symmetrical triangle chart pattern looking pretty good as well. Bitcoin's fairly bullish right now in a breakout scenario. Ethereum's looking pretty good. Nice big gap between these measure moves here. Not these measure moves, between these moving averages here. You can see we've actually gained support on the 55, the 21, and also the 10 simple, and also the price action channel there. And we've had those 2 candles outside the price action channel. Usually means that bullish momentum coming through from there. So I'd like a retest, and I would be kind of favoring a nicer long position coming through for Ethereum right now. And in terms of take profits, I probably would just be going on all of these potential areas where we have seen resistance from before, right? If you're doing that, if you're staggering your TPs, you're not going to have a problem, guys. You're not going to have a problem because once you hit your first take profit, you take your stop loss, which will probably be below all major moving averages here. If we are going to see continuation, I would expect some sort of retest around this area. Come down for a retest. Nice sort of tight stop loss, probably going down to a small for a few smaller time frames, as you can see, 200 EMA around that sort of area there. So we'll be using that as some sort of stop loss there, and then basically just going for my first take profit. My first take profit is still going to be worth around, it's still gonna be worth around near enough 2%. So you could even get an earlier one in than that just to be safe. And once you get your first take profit, you take your stop loss, move your stop loss to your entry, and then it's a home free. It's a completely risk-free trade, and you've already made money. Okay, so that's sort of the scenario in terms of gridding your take profits that I would be I would like to I would like you guys to adopt it, right? That's what I'm trying to say, right? We'd like you guys to adopt it because I remember when I was like starting out trading and stuff like that, and I was just like, yep, one take profit, stop loss, I'm good to go, let it run, baby. No, I lost so much money doing that, like and not actually managing my position and stuff like that, and another thing is like trailing your stop loss as well, guys. That's a very, very crucial thing that you can be doing as well. You can be if the moving averages are coming up like so, you don't just want your stop loss at your entry once you've hit your like your third take profit. You want to just be trailing your stop loss up around below all major moving averages because you know if you lose these moving averages, you're going to tank down in price. So why are you going to give up this amount of profit if your stop loss is down at entry, right? There's no point. You might as well bank the profit when you lose the major level of support. So yeah, a couple of things that I just wanted to touch on there. But yeah, this is a nice little Ethereum position that I'm looking for coming through. We've got like 10 minutes left, guys. So if you do have any other coins, make sure you're smashing them in the chat. And as we said before, we do stream Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. I'm also doing a daily update on my channel every single day now. It's around 5 minutes long. I'm doing a trade of the day as well. So if you guys do want to go check that out, it's literally going to be on my channel every single morning. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Alrighty. 14 people watching, 14 likes. You guys are amazing. Thank you very, very much. We're a small channel, but we are obviously trying to grow and conquer this crypto YouTuber space because it's full of so many fakers that can't even trade, right?
Yeah.
So many fakers. So we want to kind of teach people to make money, like really, like compared to a lot of these channels that will just kind of do nothing and then draw a triangle and not really know anything, right? We're familiar with all kinds of data sets and all kinds of indicators in which you can be very, very profitable trading them, and we obviously been doing this years and years and years now. So yeah, fantastic stuff. I did just want to kind of briefly show you something I'm working on right now, or something we're working on right now. It is a strategy on the 5 minute, and it's fantastic, right? So a lot of guys have come to us and said, to be honest, we just don't have time to come up with this stuff normally, but because it's a bear market, there's not really a lot of building going on in the space. So we've already built our projects. We're just waiting for a bull market, right? So what we're doing right now is essentially working on strategies as well, right? So we've got our businesses and stuff like that. We've got our trading, stuff like that, but we're also working on strategies for the shorter time frames, for mainly for you guys as well, right? So if we are looking at this, and obviously we will use this for ourselves as well if it's really profitable, but if we are looking at this, we're basically trying to calculate some of the newer indicators that have come around over the past few years, and kind of put those together and see what we can make that can be profitable. I'm not going to explain too much about this right now because it's not currently finished, but we have some very, very good results coming through in which we find take profits. We're going to be using the multi-time frame volume weighted ATR band, and then some regressional tactics as well. So there is money to be made with this. We're just kind of tweaking out some of the bad trades. So typically when you make a strategy, guys, those of you that don't know, when you create a strategy, you essentially make something that's the baseline, the foundation of the strategy, right? And then you will have a bunch of wins, a bunch of losses, and then the next step to making that strategy is to look at all the losses and see what they have in common, right? And then you have to introduce new rules to get rid of those losses but still keep most of the wins, right? And if you keep doing that and refining the strategy, and I've been doing this like years now since I started trading. It's just one of my main passions, to be honest, creating things that make money, right? But yeah, this is something we're working on at the moment. It looks pretty promising, but obviously, if market conditions change, then things go in and out of validity. So we want to make things, and we have trading strategies for pretty much every scenario. But now we're kind of diving in a bit more to the super low time frames and seeing what we can do there with the new tools that have been created by the genius coders out there, and then kind of tweaking those rule sets, tweaking the code a little bit, and making something that potentially is unique and potentially can make tons of cash here. So yeah, it's the first little update on that. I don't want to go too deep into it, but yeah, keep an eye open for that. That will probably be part of our copy trading thing as well, eventually.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
If we do it.
Yeah, that's something that I want to be doing as well for the copy trading. Like, I think that'd be quite cool having you guys actually following a system that we've created and legally, like legally doing that, because obviously it's all not financial advice and all that good stuff. I see quite a few people in the chat wanted a bit of Satan coin, bit of XRP coming through. So I've done some prep on that. If we want to go to Satan coin and basically jump to the 4 hour, because we did see XRP actually rally up pretty aggressively recently, guys. We can see XRP absolutely mooning, and this was basically the SEC basically shining a little bit of positive light, saying that XRP might be coming out the end of the tunnel in a positive direction, which is good to see. If that is going to happen, guys, then we're obviously going to see huge prices here for XRP. Right now, what I would be looking at in terms of charting, it would be this pretty strong symmetrical triangle chart pattern, guys. Symmetrical triangle chart pattern at the top of an uptrend. You know what that means? It's a bullish pennant chart pattern. And that technically, usually, means we break to the goddamn upside. So if this is going to happen, we are going to see this happening pretty much fairly soon. Okay, we're coming up to this area. We have tested this most recently, didn't get the quite candle body close that we were looking for here on the 4 hour, near enough there. I would be looking for another candle body close around that area. We have had pretty much a micro high or low. Aren't really testing any moving averages as of yet for Satan coin, so I'd ideally like to test something like that, maybe coming up a bit, coming down, having a retest of major moving averages, and then getting into a nice long for XRP. If we are going to do that, there is a measure move, there is money, there is paper planes taking off from the runway that we need to be on board. We need to be on board. We need to be on these planes, right? So as you can see, it's going to be around a 9.49% profit. 9.2. Hold on. Here we go. 9.39% profit there for XRP if this move is going to come to fruition. You know, I said it earlier. I'm not going to say it again, guys. We are going to be staggering those TPs as we're going up, just to make as much goddamn profit as possible, right? But that's sort of what I would be expecting here for XRP. I am pretty bullish here on the macro. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to actually continually react. In terms of moving averages here on more of the macro scale, let me get rid of the Fibonacci for a second. In terms of the more of the macro scale right now, we have seen that candle body close on the daily above the 200 EMA. But unfortunately, we've been scurrying around this area for quite a while now, not really knowing whether we're going to find support or knowing whether we're going to find insane resistance. Okay, so it's quite hard to be using this as data right now because we don't have any data. So yeah, so I probably would be ignoring that. But overall, you can see moving averages getting further apart. The further apart these bad boys get, it basically means the strength of the trend is getting stronger. So yeah, good stuff coming through from there from XRP. I would say overall I would be bullish.
Matic, let's have a look at Matic. You're done, right?
Yeah, all done, yeah.
Right, just cut you off. Yeah, so Matic, we've talked about this in previous streams. This is essentially the result of what's happened here. We had a different pattern drawn in here previously. I think it was something like this, in which there was a measure move towards the downside, but now we made that low. We can widen that pattern out. Again, both of those patterns are correct, right? Measure move played out towards the downside, that's fine. You look at the low, you find a new pattern, and then you find a new measure move because of that, right? So the measure move up here was this rising Reggie coming up here. We can see that, yeah, measure move coming up. I'd say that's more or less complete here. If we're going to zoom in on this, right, it's like a cent in it, right? So there's a few things I want to talk about here, right? That measure move's done. We can get rid of that. I don't really, we don't need that for now, right? So what we're going to see here is this trend line coming through. If we do want to come back down and retest this bad boy, that's actually considered fairly healthy here. And the reason for that is this has been quite a steep ascent, right? We are approaching a resistance area. I just want to check this is correctly drawn in. It's close enough. These are kind of dirty traps. I might have drawn this on a daily or something, but
Bitcoin is getting rejected right now.
Bitcoin dumping. It's having a bit of a dump.
Yeah, it's coming down.
So this is actually what we wanted from Bitcoin. But I'll finish up Matic and then we'll chill here. So if Matic does the same thing here and actually comes down to basically 81 cents, then what we want to see here for some bullish continuation is something along the lines of this, right? Finding these moving averages, finding this support that was previously resistance, right? Bouncing off of it. We've got the 200 SMA, we've got the 21 EMA, we've got the price action channel, we've got the 55 EMA coming up as well. So if we're looking at all of these supports, if we want to bounce off that, that's perfectly fine and natural, retesting them after breaking through, right? And then what we'd be looking for is essentially to come up and claim this 4-hour volume weighted ATR band. And the reason why we want to do that to begin with here is because of this beautiful pattern that we've had drawn in for a while now. This beautiful channel coming through, or wedge if you're going to be a stickler about it. But yeah, channel or wedge. We can see, yeah, that is the measure move coming up, and we're still waiting for that. And it's actually got better than previously, right? So before, I think we were around here, we were looking to potentially get over the volume weighted ATR band first, and then play out for 8%. But now that volume weighted ATR bands come down, if we can reclaim this bad boy, if we can claim and stay above this and close candles above this, right, we could be looking at a potential 16 or 17% measure move towards the sky here. So lots of money to be made here if this does want to continue the trend. But for the continuation of the trend, what I do actually want to see is, which is what's happening now, is for us to come down and consolidate a little bit, maybe play with this line a little bit, and then come up, claim this bad boy, and then we're good to go for a potential trade. So that's essentially what I'm looking for the upside. The downside hasn't really changed too much. I don't really want to talk about this for too long because it's so far away, but if we do crash down into the abyss, boom, 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 then yeah, this could get really, really nasty. We're looking at potential, I mean, nasty for the holders, of course. For if you're shorting into this, absolute girthy gains for everyone. We're talking about 63 cents all the way down to 50 cents for a 19% gain. I would definitely take profit at 55 cents, with that being the volume weighted ATR band on the 12-hour. But we can see that, yeah, there's many trades to be had here with this asset right now. What we want to see is 80 cents holding. If 80 cents holds here, that's going to be good, and then we need to see that pushing off, right? And that is pretty much that for Matic. Did you want to jump into the old bitty?
Yeah, I'll jump into Bitcoin quickly. You can see Bitcoin is at around 20,100. We were anticipating some sort of higher low for this micro uptrend right now. The point that I'm actually looking for here, guys, is very crucial because it is the 0.236 Fibonacci retracement here, and also a very strong horizontal level, and also on top of that, it is pretty much near enough bang on the 21 EMA, right? So this is a very strong level of support on the micro time frame. So if we don't break here, I would expect to bounce up. If we do break here, there is a micro short position to the downside here, which is going to be worth around 1.1%. So not too bad in terms of profit. That will bring us down to the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement, and that'll basically mean a potential bounce from there. Now, one thing that I do just want to touch on ever so quickly, guys, unfavorable opinion here. It is unfavorable. Is that the word? Unfavorable? Don't even think that's the word. Unpopular opinion, right? Unpopular opinion right now for this is going to be the directional movement index, guys, on the 1 hour. Now, this is very crucial because you can see how high the ADX is. The ADX basically determines how strong the trend is going to be when we have the bullish or bearish crossover. Now, as you can see from here, guys, we have seen a bullish crossover, right, around this area, right? There was a bearish crossover and a bullish crossover, and you can see the ADX was really quite low. From there, the price action has actually pulled the ADX up really high. Now, this is very bad for Bitcoin, I would say, here on the micro time frame, just because the ADX is going to be still way above 20 and 25, which are the key checkpoint areas, and we're getting ever so close to this bearish crossover. If we have this bearish crossover and the ADX is up here, I would expect pretty strong downside, okay? I really would expect pretty strong downside. So that's something that I really would be looking out for there. Whether the 382 Fibonacci retracement is going to hold, or we're going to be coming down to the 0.5. If we come down to the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement on the short-term time frame, guys, we know what that means. The 0.5 is the halfway point for the trend reversal. Usually, when we cross that, we have trend reversal. And in terms of the swing high and the swing low for this uptrend, it'll be trend reversal, so it will be initiating a downtrend from there. So downtrend initiation station is from 1965 if we do lose that in terms of level of support. But right now we are pretty much hovering. We're pretty much hovering on 20,100. So very interesting point. But yeah, nice little short position if you fancy it, but obviously not financial advice.
If it takes your fancy.
If it takes your fancy. I mean, just looking at the watch list now on the top 50 altcoins, it's just horrific. It's absolutely horrific. Like everything is down like 1, 2, 3% there. What's really hurting? Is it Blocktopia? Is that what it's called? That metaverse coin thing? That's down at around 3.81%. We've got Sushi Swap down at around 3.2%.
That's not on the screen, by the way.
Yeah, I know, yeah. And we've got ENS around 3.2% as well. So yeah, a lot of things are hurting right now. The sea of red we are seeing. So yeah, be cautious, guys.
I did want to just do one more for
no
someone Who was it? It was for Digital Nomad. Nice to see you in the chat, sir. Let's take a look. We did do Sol earlier, so feel free to rewind after this. But let's take a look at Near, if I'm American.
Near.
Near. We
Near.
can see, yeah, I mean, this hasn't performed amazingly compared to the rest of the market. Just off the bat here, we're seeing, yeah, definitely coming down, but actually respecting a bit of buy pressure coming through as we get closer to this volume-weighted ATR band on the 4-hour. So, yeah, you can see that kind of inverse parabolia coming through. Ideally, obviously, what you want to see here is us to do this, right? But it doesn't always go that way in trading. You can't make a prediction like that so easily. So what I will do here is take a look a little bit closer and see if we can find some kind of thing to trade here. I imagine you are holding this, so yeah, if this does want to head up, that'd be fantastic. But I mean, I'm going to be honest here. If you are holding, this is not looking great. And if we don't hold this next area for Bitcoin, basically, I would say 19.5 to 19.8. If we go below 19.5 with Bitcoin, I imagine this will come down and it could potentially get down to $3.30, so just be aware of that. But again, the project isn't always reflected by the chart, right? You can get really amazing projects that people just sell, right? It's crazy out there. It's crazy out there. A lot of projects become like cannon fodder when they should be doing really well. But the ones that do stick around, the ones that really go for longevity and build through these bear markets, usually come back and bang it towards the upside. We saw insane amounts of projects do that in the last bull run, so I would be expecting the same thing here. But if this project goes bankrupt or something like that, I'm not too familiar with Near, but yeah, the chart right now does not look too friendly, and it seems to be going down a lot more compared to the other altcoins when Bitcoin dumps, so just bear that in mind. And yeah, that could also behave the other way, the opposite way, when Bitcoin like bangs it towards the upside for a bullish uptrend, right? People are going to start looking at projects that are going to do really well. But what I will do in conclusion with this on Near, before we do kind of head off, I don't know if you have another one to do after this, but
I was just looking at Near as well, actually, and it's really, the chart is really not great, is it?
Nah.
Really not good. It's actually on a breakdown of a bearish pennant chart pattern, so that's usually means a lot more continuation to the downside. So to be honest, I probably would say we are going to test those lows again around $2.89. Just looking at the chart quickly.
Yeah, on a daily anyway.
Yeah, on the daily. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, sorry to cough into the mic there, guys. So yeah, if I'm going to look at this and we're going to draw a measure move on this potentially, one thing I will say is if this does want to come up and break this high at 365, then yeah, I mean there's a measure move all the way up to 378. What I will say with this though, at the same time, is we have had similar patterns that have just been dirtily trapped here, if that's a word, dirtily trapped to both sides here. Even when it looks like it's breaking out, it just does the opposite thing. So yeah, just be aware of this thing. It is going to be one of these coins that don't behave in your natural fluid ways, but that could turn into an advantage when it does turn into a bull market. So again, just I would go back, and if you are a long-term holder of this and you believe in the project, go back, read the white paper, and just take a look at the economics behind the coin. The project doesn't always mean the coin goes up, right? A coin can be designed to completely inflate and go to zero over 10 years time, right? And then it only goes up if it's scaling, which is a lot of the cases for projects in crypto. So just be aware of that. The chart doesn't look fantastic, and it does look like it wants to test the lows, as Chester says. So yeah, just be aware. If I'm gonna be talking about max pain here, oh, that's not great at all. Max pain is 20 cents. Amazing. No, I mean, I would expect a potential bounce here at $2.33 if we go down there, right? Does that mean we completely recover from that point? Absolutely not. But again, just be cautious, be careful out there. And yeah, I get bullish on this thing if we basically, I would probably say, yeah, 7, maybe even higher actually. We'll say $7 here. If it gets above $7, which is again like 100% gains from where you are now, if it gets above there, then I would be looking at this as a bit more of a bullish chart in the more local terms anyway. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. What do you got?
Yeah, I've got a bit of Monero that I'd like to touch on quickly on the daily. This looks pretty good. I mean, it's one of the coins that I've been watching throughout this bear market. It's been holding its own fairly well. Market structure is not looking too bad. It's not looking too bad. But I would say we are potentially seeing some sort of potential bull flag here scenario, right? And that is a falling parallel channel like so. And they tend to usually break to the upside. This is one of the coins. So, for example, everything else is down like like 1, 2, nearly 3% and stuff, and this is down at around 0.85%. That's what I've noticed continuously throughout this bear market. It actually doesn't react as well with the market. This is going to be one of the leading coins in the space for privacy coins. It's basically originating where Bitcoin started on the dark web and stuff like that. So it does have a pretty strong use case in that sense. And this is one that I'm seriously watching for the next bull run, guys. I do think we could see a 10, 20x here. So the supply is lower than Bitcoin as well. It's like 18 million, I think, the supply for this coin. It's on CoinMarketCap. I think it's around 40th or 30th place in the race to the top. But yeah, definitely want to be looking out for that. In terms of a macro trade, I would be looking for the break of this bull flag to the upside here, and that's going to be something along the lines of this. In terms of percentages, it is going to be around a 14.52%. Lovely couple of checkpoints along the way. As you can see, the 200 EMA and the 200 SMA coming down to say hello. We will be definitely using them as take profits there. And you can see the gap between these moving averages right now is pretty big. If this does take a long time to break out and it does just consolidate for a while and stops breaking lows coming through from here, I don't think we'll come down and test the low of the current bear market around 96 bucks. If it does, I will be buying some. Buying some more and be buying some. If that does happen, then yeah, I'm just definitely going to keep buying it there. But what I really would be looking out for here is going to be a potential long for this coin. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. Right?
Yep. I'm all good my side. It's been a pleasure, guys. I noticed a lot of you guys have just come in. Be sure to subscribe, all of that good stuff. Notification bell if you do want to catch our streams on time. We'll be doing these. Well, we do these Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We do a trade-off against each other with 300 bucks each. High leverage. We've got 3 wheels that we spin, which will do the time you have to take the trade. Well, no, we stopped doing that, didn't we? We have one which is the coin. We have one which is the leverage, and we have one which is the percentage of our balance that we put in. Completely fun, degenerate gambling, guys. It's not like we're aiming to make money. It's just a fun Thursday night trade-off, and it's fantastically fun. So feel free to stick around for that tomorrow. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah, Bitcoin just tested 19. It just tested 20K basically. Came all the way down and got to 19,987 there. Pretty crazy stuff. If we are going to be looking for a price, if we are going to see the candle body close for this upward sloping parallel channel, I would expect to come down to the 0.382. Just to summarize where I think the price could potentially be going, if we do see this candle close, in 34 minutes time, if we do see this candle close below this upward sloping parallel channel, you can see momentum is cooling off. So a higher low test is not out of the question. But yeah, I think that's going to be it, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. Do appreciate it. We are producing videos continuously across on both of our channels as well. That's Crypto Chester and Hamilton of Crypto. I'm doing a daily update now every single morning, 5 minutes long for you guys, just so you've got something to refer to, in my opinion, if you are still starting out and learning trading and stuff like that. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm also I used to do altcoins of the day. I'm now doing a trade of the day on that inside that small video as well. So be sure to look out for that as well. But yeah, I think that's enough shilling from my half. But yeah, thank you ever so much for watching, guys. Do appreciate it. And we will be back. We'll be back tomorrow, right? Tomorrow for a Thursday night trade-off. It's going to be good stuff.
And we usually do with the Thursday night trade-off, if you are still looking for Bitcoin updates and stuff like that, we usually do updates on Bitcoin before we get into the Thursday night trade-off anyway. So yeah, catch an update there. Besides that, yeah, have a fantastic day. And obviously, both of our channels, we do all sorts of analysis on Bitcoin, including on-chain technical analysis and other data-driven predictions here. So that's fantastic stuff. Be sure to check out my channel for copy trading as well. And yeah, Bitget link is in the description if you do want to get started with that fantastic stuff. So yeah, that's going to be it from us. Are you all good your side?
Good stuff. Peace out.
All right, fantastic. I will see you in the next one. Just keep on saying fantastic on repeat, but yeah, have a fantastic day.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Bye from Decentrahype. Bye. Okay. Bye from Decentrahype.
You know why we're here. We're here to make money. Cold hard cash.
Yes, sir.